In the 17th century, European settlers arrived on the shores of North America seeking new opportunities and a fresh start. They came from various countries, each bringing their own hopes and dreams for a better future. They were drawn by the promise of land, religious freedom, and the chance to build a new life. The vast, untamed wilderness offered them a blank canvas to create their own societies and communities. These early settlers established colonies along the Atlantic coast, laying the foundation for a new nation. They built homes, farms, and towns, slowly transforming the landscape into a reflection of their aspirations. However, the arrival of Europeans had a profound impact on the Native Americans who had called this land home for centuries. The newcomers brought with them new technologies, but also new conflicts and challenges. Conflicts arose over land and resources, and Native American populations were decimated by disease and warfare. The introduction of European diseases, to which Native Americans had no immunity, led to devastating losses. The colonists brought with them enslaved Africans, who were forced to work on the plantations that fueled the growing colonial economy. This brutal system of forced labor became deeply entrenched in the colonies. The institution of slavery would cast a long shadow over the history of the United States. It created a legacy of inequality and injustice that would take centuries to address. As the colonies prospered and grew, so too did the demand for labor, leading to the transatlantic slave trade and the enslavement of millions of Africans. This trade was a dark and tragic chapter in the history of the new nation. Life in the colonies was hard, but the colonists persevered, driven by a spirit of independence and a belief in their own destiny. They faced numerous challenges, yet their determination to succeed laid the groundwork for the birth of a new nation. As the 18th century progressed, tensions grew between the American colonies and Great Britain. The colonists resented British taxes and restrictions on their freedom. They believed in self-government and the right to determine their own affairs. Events such as the Boston Tea Party, where colonists dumped British tea into Boston Harbor in protest of unfair taxes, further inflamed tensions. The British government responded with force, leading to armed conflict between British troops and colonial militias. The battles of Lexington and Concord marked the beginning of the American Revolutionary War, a fight for independence that would last for 8 long years. The colonists were outmatched by the mighty British Army, but they were determined to fight for their freedom. In 1776, a group of colonial leaders gathered in Philadelphia to declare their independence from Great Britain. Thomas Jefferson, a young Virginian lawyer, was tasked with drafting the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration, adopted on July 4, 1776, proclaimed that all men are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These powerful words resonated far beyond the borders of the colonies, inspiring people around the world to fight for their own freedom and equality. The Declaration of Independence remains a cornerstone of American democracy, a testament to the enduring power of its ideals. After a long and bloody struggle, the American colonies emerged victorious from the Revolutionary War. The newly independent nation faced the daunting task of building a government that could unite 13 diverse colonies under a single banner. The Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1777, proved to be too weak to effectively govern the young nation. In 1787, delegates from the states met in Philadelphia to address these weaknesses. The result was the United States Constitution, a remarkable document that has stood the test of time. The Constitution established a system of checks and balances, dividing power between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. It also included a Bill of Rights, guaranteeing fundamental freedoms such as speech, religion, and the press. Section 5. A Nation Divided. Despite its many strengths, the United States faced a fundamental challenge in the 19th century: the issue of slavery, which deeply divided the nation. Slavery had been a part of American life since the colonial era, ingrained in the economic and social fabric of the southern states. But as the nation expanded westward, the question of whether slavery should be allowed in new territories became a source of intense debate and division. threatening the unity of the young nation. The abolitionist movement, led by figures such as Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, gained momentum, inspiring many to join the cause. They called for an end to the immoral institution of slavery, using powerful speeches, writings, and acts of defiance to spread their message. In 1860, the election of Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the expansion of slavery, sparked a crisis that would change the course of American history. 11 Southern states seceded from the Union, declaring their independence and forming a new government. They called themselves the Confederate States of America, setting the stage for a monumental conflict. The American Civil War, one of the bloodiest conflicts in American history, erupted in 1861, pitting brother against brother. The Civil War was a clash of ideologies, a battle between those who believed in the preservation of the Union and those who fought to maintain the institution of slavery, each side convinced of their righteousness. Union soldiers fought to keep the nation whole, while Confederate soldiers fought for their way of life, leading to a brutal and devastating war that would shape the future of the United States. Section 6. Industrial Revolution and Immigration. Following the Civil War, the United States underwent a period of rapid industrialization and economic growth. The Industrial Revolution transformed the American economy, with factories and railroads springing up across the nation. This period saw the rise of powerful industrialists, such as Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller, who amassed vast fortunes. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed a massive influx of immigrants from Europe and Asia, drawn by the promise of economic opportunity